for making it sunrise. So it's time to lock in and to talk about cybersecurity.
Indeed.
With digital threats on the rise, it's easy to think that, it's all about firewalls and fancy tech, but guess what? The real power to protect starts with you, the employees. So here to break down how organizations can strengthen their defenses through staff awareness is Major Account Manager at Fortinet, Ronald Donaldson.
Ron, how are you doing?
Morning, how are you?
Morning.
I think this is a very timely conversation.
Yes.
We're in the middle of, we're still in Cybersecurity Month. A lot of forums have been had. People are talking about it, which is good.
Right.
But it is an area that many people would say, look, this is technical. I don't know about it.
Correct.
My employees don't know about it.
Correct.
Why is cybersecurity such a rising threat to workspaces?
Okay. So the knee-jerk reaction is usually to discuss, as you said, the technology, right? And I'm going to spend a few seconds on that because, as you rightfully said, just in the brief, is that people typically hear, especially with our brand, Fortinet, we have a firewall, it's protected, everything is fine, but that's not the case. What you need to practice is what is called defense in depth. Layers. You're at home, you have a grill, you have a security camera, you have a dog. All of those are layers of protection. Same thing for the company.
Right.
Now let's go to the individual. You're not the biggest threat. It doesn't matter how much you invest in technology. The fact of the matter is this, is that you can do an uninformed, silly, can't be bothered kind of a thing, and that causes a threat actor to get in, right? We are a treasure trove simply because we're individuals, and we're not AI, we're not robots. We all have our nuances, and if we are untrained and uninformed, it makes it easy for a threat actor to get in. Sorry.
You mentioned getting in just now, and I can't help but recall that we've often heard, especially recently, about people getting into different systems and
Correct.
accessing
Right.
client information,
Right.
and it just ends up, well, for me, listening on, you're just like, wait, what does that mean for me if all my information can be accessed?
Right.
What are some of the steps in this multi-layered approach that you refer to that companies can take that you protect the data of your clients?
So it's very simple. Again, if we're just moving away from the tech and going to the weakest point, it's actually training, consistency of training. So we have an e-learning platform that takes away the work from a company trying to figure out, okay, how do I get my employees onboarded and how do I get them to understand and appreciate and create this, like a culture, for example, right? Just a note, it's free for up to 25 people, so they can go online to Fortinet.com and actually start a process. How does it work? As I said, it's e-learning. There are exercises, quizzes, different formats, right? You can co-brand it. So it's white label, you can put your brand in there, we take away all the work for you. And the consistency, I would say, is that if you have an employee coming in, do it in the onboarding process. Because your lack of knowledge will create an impact, ensure that it becomes like, for example, a KPI and do, let's say, quarterly. The thing is, it's not a one-time thing.
Yeah.
The other guys are constantly evolving.
Right.
You also have to keep that consistency up, or else you're going to have a gap, and that gap is going to cost you. Yeah.
We're seeing, of course, the hot button issue is AI, generative and otherwise. It's not just language models. We're seeing now video. We're seeing an increased ability, for instance, with persons being able to design an attack that is tailored to your business.
Correct.
So, for instance, you will see an email come up in the company email that looks like the company email that is appealing to something about, click on this, to get more information about the latest promotional exercise from the company. And so what we're seeing is, with the threat of AI, we're seeing now a far more tailored, nuanced, intelligent attack on specific organizations. I mean, are you designing target hardening strategies for that?
Correct, we are. And again, that goes back to the e-learning platform. My company, they actually target us, the employees, with that, right? Different campaigns throughout the course of the year. And every now and again, a professional like us, we fall prey to it. It happens.
Yes,
Why?
And if it can happen to you, it can happen to the untrained eye.
Exactly.
And as you say, it's curated. It's not, a cookie cutter kind of a thing. We're used to the old campaigns of, bad grammar and misspelling. Those days are done.
Right.
These guys are working just as hard as we are. So again, That's where the consistency will come in. Because it's not a one-off, because it's not stuck in time, it's not cookie cutter. If you have consistency and it's updated, it will keep those nuances to the forefront of the thought process of the employees, so they don't necessarily fall prey to something that's new. It can happen. There's no 100% guarantees, but the fact is, the more consistent you are, and the more updated information is less likely it is for them to actually fall prey to it.
Let's say I'm at home watching and I'm saying, this is a layer that I need to tap into for my company to, get my employees where they need to be and to protect our clients. What do we do? What's the step that I need to take in contacting you guys?
Well, the first thing is I'm available on LinkedIn. You can find me on LinkedIn. That's how I usually get, customers or just strangers get in touch, and then I'll put them to the right resources. But again, if you have a small business, for example, because I know typically small business, they're not going to pay attention to us. It's free up to 25. You go on the website, you register. It is not an IT. You don't need to be an engineer to do this, right? We do all the hard work for you. We deliver the content. It satisfies regulatory requirements these days with the Data Protection Act, right? In terms of assisting with that, I should say. But reach out to us on LinkedIn. Go to the website. We'll reach out to you after that and ensure that either us or one of our partners will get in touch and start the process for you.
All right, thank you very much. A very important conversation to have. Thank you very much. Our guest in this segment has been Ronald Donaldson, the major account manager at Fortinet. I think we have our dishes finished. Story. All right, we're going to see it after the news.
Why would you do that to me?
Sorry.
My mouth start water and everything in the Denny's.
I just saw TK walk in.
So that's how you knew that the food was ready? I'm kidding, no. That's how you knew it was time for news.